Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go to Pocono here with the news of today, though. Logano wins the 600 at Charlotte after taking 4 tires in a late race pit stop, and he was allowed with that fresh tire pit stop to charge his way through the field and win the race. Multiple exciting incidents occurred with Bowman on his side, Kyle Larson going airborne. Owen says he is closing in on a deal for next season, and obviously we heard yesterday the 2020 DLC is not happening, but career mode will continue on. I'm definitely disappointed with that news that came out, but obviously there's nothing we can do about it. Like I said, career mode will continue on. The whole driver silly season thing, unfortunately, will come to an end. So obviously we know Daniel Suarez will be in the 41 next season, and everyone else will be in the same place except for us. We'll see what happens with that. So yeah, definitely really disappointed, but it's not like it's going to end the career mode now, as it's not something that was like absolutely needed to continue the career mode. But either way, we come to the truck series where we had Greg Biffle back in a truck here at the 1.5 of Kansas Speedway. He was working his way through the field throughout this race. Now this is already on the final lap as it came through turns 3 and turns 4. Biffle up to P5 as Sheldon Creed in the number 2 tried to get to his inside as it came through down into the tri-oval side by side as Biffle would hang on just barely for P5 over Sheldon Creed. Now we come through into the Xfinity Series race. We had subscriber Jack Mace in the car, and unfortunately we had to start in the back for this race, so obviously a lot of work to do for Jack here in this one. So I was really just hoping we could get in the top 30 before this thing was over. I will be actually setting up another thing to get more subscriber names in the car, or in the random name chooser, as I haven't actually set that up in a little bit. So we're going to get some more names in there to allow some newer people to the community to actually get in on this. Now as he came through turns 1, he actually went a little bit wide, but he came through to the final lap of this race through turns 3 here in Pocono, just behind the number 99 car, just in front of Morgan Shepherd, though, as he came down this front straightaway side by side with Tommy Joe Martinson at the line. He would barely beat him and get P25 here after starting in the back. And before we go to the Cup Series race, I said at the beginning of the season there was going to be some tracks where we had like a quote-unquote new rules package, and today we're starting that out here in Pocono. And basically I turned the draft effect to high, I turned the skill range down to I think it was like compressed or narrow, sorry, something like that. Either way, basically the AI is going to be more spread out on the track. At least it's supposed to be. I just wanted to kind of tinker with things. We set it to normal, so we're going to see what it does here in Pocono, as we do have, like I said, a quote-unquote new kind of package here that we're trying out in Pocono to see exactly what it brings. As we cross the line with the 54.9 in qualifying, unfortunately we go P20 here in our qualifying effort, so not a good effort for myself, but hopefully we can work our way forwards. And there you see the top 10, and on the pole we got the 19 of Martin Truex.
We're live from Pocono Raceway for the Pocono 400. The tricky triangle's different than any other track these drivers will encounter all year, so nailing the setup of the car is crucial. Which of these teams will unravel the mystery that is Pocono? Let's go find out.
All right, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here for the Pocono 400 at Pocono Raceway. Daniel Hemrick has been struggling all weekend, and Chase Elliott sent to the back of the field after an unapproved body modification during qualifying. We've had a few incidents with Elliott recently. We'll see if we can kind of put those to the side today, as Ryan Truex was sent to the back as well. I think it was for failing optimal inspection or whatever they call it now. As we get ready to go green, though, here on the inside lane after Elliott sent to the back, the green flag is out, and we are on the way. Martin Truex Jr., surprisingly, still looking for win number 1 on the season. He's having a kind of subpar season, just like he did last time out here in the career mode. Obviously, our rookie season, he was pretty dominant at times, and then obviously last season he just kind of struggled, and this season he's struggling to get a win as well, but he's still running good enough to where he will definitely be in the playoffs if we don't have too many winners. Now as we come through out of turns 1, already some 3 wide racing as we go down this first back straightaway down towards the tunnel turn here at the tricky triangle. 3 wide there with our teammate of Clint Boyer, actually now 2 wide as we go down into the tunnel turn. Tiff and Buescher 3 wide, but Jones as they go into the corner. So definitely some aggressive racing on this opening start. There's a clear Boyer. We get to the inside of the 37 of Chris Buescher, and we start to work our way forwards into inside of the top 15, just behind the 12 of Ryan Blaney for Penske Racing. Now as Blaney, I think, is a possible candidate for losing his ride to myself here in the next season, because he certainly just hasn't been performing very well on Penske Racing. He usually makes the playoffs some points, but he can never win, and he usually goes out in the first round. So definitely have to keep an eye out for Ryan Blaney throughout the rest of the season, as we came through on lap 3 of 11 in this first stage, continuing to work our way through on this bottom lane up the inside of Kurt Busch at this point now, as we're going to get a little bit aggressive going 3 wide up the inside of Michael McDowell and Kyle Busch, and now it's Kyle Busch is clear of McDowell. He goes side by side with the Hendrick driver of William Byron. But Kyle would continue to drive away as we came through now on lap 10, still running just behind William Byron in P10, but I had a bit of a moment on the exit of turns 3. That allows Michael McDowell to get to my inside now as we came to 6 to go. At this point, the handling of the car was starting to go away a little bit, and I was definitely feeling it here with Eric Jones just behind us by about maybe a car length and a half or so as we go down into turns 1 on that right rear of Michael McDowell. Now as we're sideways through the center of the corner, Jones slips through on the bottom. We hang on to it now as we go down this first back straightaway. Now Menard would be closing pretty quickly. Our teammate Eric Almirola, he would get past us as well. Now as Menard goes through on the outside, and Kurt Busch is going to follow through as well as we try to regain all the speed now. As we go down into the tunnel turn, the 3 just drove right into the side of us in the tunnel turn, and I was not happy at all about that, so I decided to just completely finish him off as we came out of the tunnel turn there, and that would bring out a caution now here later in stage 1. Obviously, I don't know what in the world the 3 was thinking. He was sideways, and I just got really aggravated in the moment, so I decided to just kind of turn left and make sure he did not get a chance to keep the car straight. Either way, we came to the pit lane, and we would get back going from P15, or sorry, I don't think we did come to the pit lane. Either way, we do have front end damage with 3 laps to go here in stage 1, so hopefully we can work our way forwards to a top 10 position now, just behind the 21 of Paul Menard. So certainly interesting turn of events here in stage 1. The car just started getting away from me, and then the 3 is actually still right here with us, so certainly he's going to have a chance to maybe get back to us now as we come through on the inside of that 21, just slipping and sliding, hoping that we can get to the pit lane pretty soon here now at the end of stage 2 to put 4 tires on, as well as I want to make the car a little bit tighter, because you can see that it's not really working out for me right now as we go down into this tunnel turn, approaching just a couple laps to go here in this first opening stage here in Pocono Raceway. As we go up the inside once again to the 21, we're going to also go to the inside of the 20 of Eric Jones as we go down into turn 3. Kurt Busch side by side with Eric Almirola. I decided to not push the issue too hard with them because I wasn't really comfortable with how the car was handling through the center of the corner, so I didn't want to just force it 3 wide into turn 3. Now as we're up the inside of Eric Almirola down the back straightaway, coming through to hit the line of 2 to go. We would pass Almirola, we would pass Kurt Busch, but we came down the back straightaway on lap 10 of 11 in the stage. Chase Elliott had got to my inside. Obviously we have a little bit of history with him in the last few races, but I just let him go there as we came through now into turn 3, approaching the final lap. A little bit of an oversteer again, and then I corrected and lost a bunch of momentum as we came to the white flag. Jones passed me. He would pass Truex. We came through to this final back straightaway on the final lap in the stage. We got back to the inside of Martin Truex Jr. now as we went down into turn 3. It's not going to be stage points here for us now. Certainly going to have to work on the car under the pit stop now as we come through the center of the corner, as we definitely had a lot more speed on the short run than we did in the long run. As we go down this front straightaway, Tyler Reddick going to try and take the position before we hit the line, but he does not get there in time as we get P12 here in stage 1. So definitely disappointed with that, but Alex Bowman gets a playoff point after winning the first stage, as we would pay for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, some little bit of repairs, as well as a wedge adjustment. I was thinking with going with 50.5, but I ended up going a little bit higher to 50.6. We would lose 1 spot on the pit lane, which I was happy with, because now we start on the bottom. P13 here in stage 2 now as the green flag is back out, and once again we are underway here at Pocono Raceway. Alex Bowman just won the first stage now, so can he come through to maybe get win number 2 on the season? We're going to find out now, as obviously, if you remember, Alex Bowman has won 1 race in our rookie season in the Cup Series, and then he won 1 race last season. He's won 1 race this season. He's never been able to win more than 1 race in a season in our career mode, but he leads the way as we exit turn 1 right now, heading down this first back straightaway here in Pocono Raceway. Up the inside of the 24 for William Byron for Hendrick Motorsports. Go up the inside of the 20 as well of Eric Jones, as once again we find ourselves back in the top 10 of the inside of Michael McDowell, but he gets clear through the center of the tunnel turn. So definitely felt like we had a lot of short run speed in this car, but definitely once you got into that medium run, it started to taper out a little bit, and then obviously on the long run you saw in stage 1, it just did not go our way at all. Now as Eric Jones gets up my inside, we're going to be 3 wide as we exit turn 3 with McDowell and Eric Jones as we go down this front straightaway. Jones gets clear as we come through to cross the line and complete this first and opening lap of the stage, and we try to get past that 34 of Michael McDowell, who definitely did not want to give up that position. He's not used to being all the way up here in the field, so definitely can't blame him for racing so hard when he has the opportunity. But we got past McDowell, and then we would actually get back to the inside of Eric Jones as the 22 of Joey Logano right in front of us was blowing up in turns 1. And the winner from last episode in the Coca-Cola 600 would have an early leave or an early exit to this race here in Pocono, as that would be the end of the day for Joey Logano. Now as it came through on lap 5 of 10 in the stage, I decided we're going to go for a second crank it up here of the season. Alright, there was your crank it up here today, and Pocono came to lap 6 now of 10 in the second stage, still with pressure from the 31 of Tyler Reddick, which you saw in that crank it up. There was actually the caution would come out here with a handful of laps to go in the stage, and it was due to Kyle Larson once again. Kyle Larson having issues now, as that's been a huge problem for him this season. He's just been having so many mechanical issues that have taken him out of races and has costed him points. And that would be him out for the day. Or actually, no, maybe he did stay in the race now, because I only see one dot on the pit lane. So maybe Kyle Larson's still in, just at least at the back of the field, and completely wiped of any stage points that he could have gotten there, as he was well inside the top 10. Now as the green flag is obviously back out at this point. William Byron just behind us as we go down into turns 1. Now Bowman still running up front here, as he's definitely showing a lot of speed. Chase Elliott, his Hendrick Motorsports teammate, has gotten up in the mix as well, so we might have to watch out for Chase Elliott here today in Pocono. Now as we swipe to the inside, making it 3 wide with the JGR duo of Jones and Kyle Busch. We get clear of Jones side by side now with just the 18 as we go down into the tunnel turn. Eric Jones nearly hitting me in the left rear now as we make a little bit of contact with the 18 of Kyle Busch now, who only has 1 win this season. I think this time last season he probably had at least 4 or 5 wins already, so definitely a big difference this season has made for Kyle Busch. But we came to the final lap of the stage. Jones had gotten past Kyle Busch, but we were still running P6 as we went down into turns 3 for the final time here in stage 2. Alex Bowman leading the way out of the corner there is have a little bit of a moment again, correcting the car, and then allows Jones to pounce on the opportunity now as we're going to be side by side, but he will get us at the line as we come through to finish P7 here in stage 2. Alex Bowman once again with the stage victory. Hendrick Motorsports 1-2 in stage 2, with Elliott joining Bowman in that second position as we would pit again for some fuel, 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. Once again, I made the wedge a little bit higher, thinking the car was just a little bit too loose. At the end of that stage now, as we were once again on our way for the beginning of stage 3, Kyle Larson stayed out at the end of the stage, so therefore he is leading the way with 13 laps to go. Keep in mind, we all have the tire advantage over Kyle Larson, so he's probably not going to last very long up inside this top 5 or top 10. But at the same time, considering the situation that 42 team is in right now, they need to take some gambles here and see if it can pay off now. So he's going to do whatever he can to hang on to the lead as long as he can, or at least stay in that top 5 or top 10, and hope a caution comes out later in this race. Now, as we head down this first back straightaway, clearing Eric Jones for P6 as we go down into the tunnel turn. One advantage to Larson being leading is he's definitely slower on those older tires, so that we can actually stick with these guys up in front of us a little bit more, because we definitely don't have the speed to be contending for a victory here today in Pocono, kind of like we did at Charlotte. Now as we come through turns 3, just behind Hamlin and Keselowski, who are battling side by side. Elliott and Bowman side by side for P2, and Larson continues to lead on this first and opening lap of this third and final stage. Now is going to use that draft to our advantage here and slice to the inside. I think that's definitely has something to do with the new quote-unquote package we're using, with the draft effect being high, and that allows us to close in at a much higher rate. Now as we slid into the corner, Hamlin gets to the inside. We're 3 wide with him and Brad Keselowski now as Hamlin gets clear as we go down this back straightaway, but we fight back up between Hamlin and Keselowski, closing in on the back of the 9 of Chase Elliott, who's still fighting side by side with his Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Alex Bowman. There's I back out of the 3 wide in the middle, because that doesn't work very well in the tunnel turn behind us. Harvick actually hit us in the bumper. He's sideways. He makes a very nice save and hangs on to it and keeps going. Now as he lost quite a bit of time, though, we came to lap 30, 11 to go, going to the inside of Hamlin and Keselowski, 3 wide for a moment. We clear Hamlin and and get to that inside of the 2 of Keselowski's. We go down into turns 1. Kyle Larson at this point still leading the way as we get up the inside now of the 9 of Chase Elliott, having to pounce on this opportunity because it might not last much longer now as we clear the 9. A little bit of contact made. Elliott might not be happy with that one as we costed him a good chunk of time, but Keselowski, he would eventually get to the inside of Kyle Larson and he would pass him for the lead as we were on the inside of Bowman. I knew Bowman was probably the fastest car here, so I decided to actually give him some room down this back straightaway now, knowing that Keselowski is driving away, and that would allow him to get past the 42. The 9 got past me and past the 42, and then we would get to the inside of Kyle Larson trying to pass him, but then we would get a caution with 9 laps to go. And I was looking at that right rear tire, 66%. I was like, okay, we definitely need to put right side tires on the car, so I decided to do just that. Here's going to see what I went with at the end, and unfortunately it cost us some ground here at the pit stop, so we lose 10 positions down to P15. Surprise there now, as I certainly regretted making that call again. It seems like we've got the pit strategy down for the most part, but every time I come to Pocono, it just somehow seems to mess with me every time. So definitely frustrating to deal with this, but on the one opportunity we got is now we got fresher tires in. The AIs, they took no tires from the looks of it. Now as we go down into turns 1, I was getting right down under that even yellow line, which is perfectly legal at a track like Pocono. Denny Hamlin, though, I should mention, was leading the way there. You see the 42 of Kyle Larson just in front of me, so I guess we can say that strategy or that gamble from the 42 team definitely worked out. Larson's still in the top 10, not anymore, because we're passing him as we go down into the tunnel turn as he tries to hang on to that position, but we're going to get him on the exit of the corner now as we would fight up the inside of Tyler Reddick, and we were up to P9. We would get to the inside just about of Michael McDowell. Now we do actually get to the inside, but unfortunately we would get stuck battling with Michael McDowell. We came to lap 37 and I could not pass the 34 to save my life. We were still side by side with Michael McDowell at this point, doing everything I can to clear him as we go down the second back straightaway. A little bit of contact there in the left rear of McDowell as we go down into turn 3. Hamlin still leads the way now as the 34 goes sideways and is going to go spinning behind us on heavy contact with the back end against the outside wall. That brings out a caution, and that's going to force overtime here in Pocono now as we've wrecked Austin Dillon, we've wrecked Michael McDowell, we messed over Chase Elliott at one point. Definitely not going to have very many drivers happy with us, I don't think, at the end of this one. Now as the green flag is back out, we are underway for now overtime here in Pocono. Definitely, I think, my fault on the situation with McDowell, but at the same time, the AI shouldn't really lose control of their car 5 seconds after they got hit on a straightaway, and now it's going down into turns 1 behind Kyle Busch. Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman on the front row. I think Hamlin is going to have the speed to hang on, though, because Bowman obviously stuck on that outside, needs to get down as quickly as possible as we go to the outside of Kyle Busch. As we go down this first back straightaway, we're going to get past him for the position, but that was as far as I would get on this lap. We came to the white flag, slicing to the inside of the 42 of Kyle Larson, as well as we're going to get to the inside of the 20 of Eric Jones and try to take over P6 now. As we go down into turns 1, Hamlin leads over Keselowski, who's right on his back bumper. Bowman on the outside of Keselowski. Elliott trying to get into the mix as well. Now as we come out of turns 1, side by side with the JGR driver, it's 3 wide in front of us for the second position between Elliott, Keselowski, and Bowman. Keselowski falls behind out of that 3 wide. Now it's Bowman and Elliott side by side for P2 as Hamlin tries to hold on for his second win of the season and his second win in just 3 races. The last 3 races now as we're still side by side with the JGR driver of Eric Jones on this final lap. As we go down into turn 3, we clear him for the moment. Kyle Busch goes on the inside of Eric Jones as we come through the center of the corner now. As we come through on the exit of turn 3, we get a little bit sideways again, and then allows Kyle Busch to pounce on the opportunity. Denny Hamlin will win in Pocono. Kyle Busch gets us right at the end, and we come through to finish in the 7th position here at the Tricky Triangle at Pocono Raceway. Chase Elliott P2, Alex Bowman P3. I think Alex Bowman probably had the fastest car all day, and unfortunately for him, he could not come out on top with the victories. We definitely didn't have winning speed. Joey Logano DNF'd after the race. I said, solid day for us. Need to do some work, though, to be better next time when we come to this track, because we just didn't quite have that winning speed. But hopefully next time we come here, we will have a chance to maybe contend for a victory here at Pocono Raceway. After the race there, you see some drivers not happy at all with us. Austin Dillon, a big one, all caps there. You know when they're all caps are not happy at all. And I decided to provoke every single one. Michael McDowell, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon. I was really aggravated with all 3 of those guys. Tyler Reddick, I think we only ran into him one time. But either way, Austin Dillon for sure aggravated with, and Michael McDowell. So unfortunately, we made some drivers upset with us today. today, but it's just kind of how it went, and we're just kind of moving into a direction of just not taking other drivers' crap anymore. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. In the next one, we go to Michigan, where we'll see if we can come on top. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.